various different great chachamim of yesteryear. Now, we're in Yemen territory over here. I want to speak about famous Rabbi Harav Mari Salam Shalom Ben Yechiyeh Chebshush Zeche Tzadik Lebracha, very great rabbi of his time. He was born, I think, in the year 1825. It's reported over. He passed away in the month of Adar back in 1905. He was about 80 years of age. He was one of the great rabbis from Btzana'ah in Teman, in Yemen, respectively. He was a Rosh Yeshiva there, and let's just say part-time period of a transition time in Btzana'ah. He was the author of the famous book called the Shoshenat, HaMelech, a great book, which is the Kitzur Teshuvot Maharitz, respectively. And we've spoken about the Maharitz. He was a very great rabbi in itself, Rabbi Yechia ben Yosef Tzalach, who lived between 1713 to 1805, respectively. And he would write a book on that. And he was also the author of the Merkazi B'Yadut Teman. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. Now, he was born in the Hebrew year, Heitav Kuf Pehei. That naturally was 1825. He came from great auspices, rabbinical auspices. I believe his father's name was Rabbi Yechia, and he was born in the Jewish square, let's just say, in the city of Btzana'ah, the capital of Teman, respectively. Now, he would go on to learn Torah under great rabbis over there, especially, I think, the head of the Jewish court happened to be Mari Yosef Kara, another great rabbi we've spoken about before. We'll just mention something about him for a minute. He lived between the years 1769 to 1849. He was the head of Jewish court over there, and he had special position in the Btzana'ah, respectively. Very, very famous rabbi, let's just say, of that specific window of time. A rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before, and had great connections, let's just say, with the great rabbanim in Teman. There was famous Bet Din of Btzana'ah of that specific point in time. He was part of the Harachev Shmini over there, Rosh of Bet Din. I think it also comprised of Rabbi Yechia ben Shlomo Avitz and Rabbi David ben Avram Tzalach, really, really great rabbis at that time. So that was a great rabbi over there, Rabbi Yosef Kara. Now, he would be part very much of, in connection with another great rabbi from Teman, Rabbi Yechia Bedichi, another great rabbi who lived between 1803 to 1887. He was a Moreh Tzedek, a Rosh Yeshiva also, though, the Beit Tzalach in Btzana'ah, and one of the great rabbis of his part in Teman, respectively. Now, I think after Rabbi Yechia Bedichi, I think passed away in the year 1888. It's interesting. I think at that point in time, Rabbi Salam Hibshush, he would actually be appointed to become Rosh Yeshiva and establish a Beit Midrash, a Beit Tzalach inside the city over there. He would become a Rosh Yeshiva over there until, I think, the year 1900. Remember, 1900, he passed away in 1905, so about 5 years, I think, before he passed away. And remember, that was we've spoken about this in detail a lot before here in the series, but Yemen went through just governmentally a lot of different changes during that specific point in time. There were different Arab revolts, I think, and different happenings taking place all throughout. So hopefully we'll speak about maybe the Beit Salah, let's just say one of the synagogues of Teman at a later stage in there, but I think there was an Arab revolt over there, and against Turkish rule, and there were various different events that will have significant consequences also for the Jewish community. Now, more can be said within regards to him. I think, I think he was considered one of the great rabbis. I think he was Ma'ari Salam Nachshab K'mam Sheikha Darko Shel Maharitz B'Psikat Halakha. So we'll continue trying to follow the ways of the famous Maharitz, which we mentioned about before. But Zot Afal Pi Shaya Mitpalel B'Nusach Hashami. So that's very interesting. That's the specific siddur, specific liturgy. Beit Knesset, Beit Kachalani, I believe, inside that city, the famous synagogue over there, or Kuchlani, I hope I pronounced that correctly, in Btzana'ah, in Teman. Chevirov kinu oto hamichlol, מכיוון שהיה משיב בדייקנות על כל שאלה שהיה נשאל. בתוספת המיקומים המדויקים בספרים בהם כתבו התשובה. לאחר פטירת הראש of Bet Din, Mari Saliman Tzalach, after the head of Jewish court, Rabbi Salam Tzalach, had passed away. He lived between the years 1822 to 1902. Another great rabbi we've spoken before. Kihen Kedayan Yachad Mari Abram Tzalach. So it's interesting. More progress. Rabbi Salam Hibshush will become a head of Jewish court along with Rabbi Avram Tzalach now over here. Now, Rabbi Avram Tzalach, I think, also lived similar time periods of between 1825 to 1905, respectively. So that's very, very interesting. Just an added side tidbit And I think, yes, there was a 3 dinim over there at that stage in time. And much can be, related over within regards to that. He was very, very humble. He didn't like necessarily having titles, as reported over. He would also learn, I think he would, interestingly enough, they actually do, the article here itself, which I'm using, was that I think he would actually work as a silversmith. I think at one point in time, as sick, but Solfot Kesef, if I'm not mistaken. So he was also, I think many people in Yemen would actually not just be officiating, working in various different Jewish life cycle importances, but some of them would also be involved in a trade, which has been heavily reported over in various different rabbis. Now, I think there was, I think it happened to have been, I think the right, Niftar Boded Bebeito, B'Ra'av Agdol, HaMochone Chozeh Al Nafar, B'Chodesh Adar, 1905 in Tahit Afresh Samachay. כשהגיע רב סלמון חבשוש לטפל בו, לכינו לקבורו, מצא אותו יושב על מקומו וטפילו מונחים לפניו, ולא הספיק לקלם. בשעת הרחיצה הבחינו שכתב על זרועו דבר מה בדם, אך הרחיצה תשתשע את הכתוב. This is what's stated over. I'll just try and translate a bit. In Hebrew, I think, so Rabbi Salam Hibshush would arrive, I think, to come and visit him, take care of him. And I think at that point in time, I think in Yemen, happened to be a famine. There was a lot of problems going on at that stage in time. And I think he was imbued within regards to tefillah all throughout that time period when he was even in his last days. So that's actually recorded over. I'm just reading notes from the hamichlol.org.il website, which gives a lot of information on him. Now, the great Rabbi Amram Korach would actually write about him. Rabbi Amram Korach actually lived between 1871 to 1952. He was a head rabbi, one of the last head rabbi of Teman, respectively, and the author of Sarot Teman. He would actually is quoted with regards to what he wrote about him. Oy ki mizalafot ra'ab ne'esaf zaken v'yashish. Pe'er hador, marin rosh הישיבה הכללית. רב שלום בן יחיה חבשוש, זיכרונו לברכה, והוא בביתו לבדו. אין אצלו אפילו אחד מקרוביו, כי כל הנשארים מבני ביתו יצאו לשאול לחם בערים וכפרים. He was just stressing over the different turbulent time periods there were with famine, that people were really looking for foods at that stage in time, how difficult the situation was for not just Jewish community, but for everyone over there. Now, I think it's 3 well-known books he would print. There might be more that way in manuscript form, I'm not too sure on that. And I think the Shoshanat, HaMelech, this was the first book that we need to mention about. It was Kitzur, Shvot Ma'aritz, coming from his book, The Pu'ulat Tzaddik, a very great book in itself. And talking about the code of Jewish law. This was written, I believe, in the year 1862. Another great book, the Korban Todah, which is Perush on the book, the Makor Chayim of the Maharitz, once again. Let's say, dealing more in the realms of the laws of Shechita, kosher slaughter over there. Very interesting. And also Likutei Ketuvim. This is various reasons on the Al-Pi HaKabbalah, which was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, recently in a manuscript form. I don't know if it was printed or not. It was, I think, maybe in the collection of Rav Yosef Kapach. I don't know if he mentions it in his books or if he actually prints it himself, which is very, very interesting. So he was definitely a famous rabbi of his time. And we've spoken about other great rabbis that came from his family also in this series, which I recommend everyone to actually look into and see various different articles on them. I know there's in the teman.org.il website, there's also a few short words within regards to him. For example, they have a lot of different biography videos. Yeah, you can actually see, I think maybe even on the National Library websites, they might actually have important, let's just say, teachings within regards to the important works that he actually had printed and so on and so forth, because he was very, very much a great rabbi of his time. And yeah, that's very, very interesting. There's Minhagei Adot website also that will speak about him. Also, just one of the most historic, one of the great rabbis of there. He was a dayan. He was he was a spiritual leader. He would stand firm. He had great Torah wisdom. He was a symbol of Jewish strength, you could say, over there. Obviously, he lived in a very, very difficult time, but he had great humility and would bring about, had real emet, let's say injustice, it will bring to justice, oppression to triumph, let's just say, in of itself. He has a very, very interesting story where how he garnered, like, just say, a mass vault of knowledge within regards to Gemara and Kabbalah and Shulchan Aruch. I think when he was only 12 years of age, he would actually, at that stage in time, already start sitting with Sina Dayanim, judges, and he was very, very diligent, studying from morning to evening, mastering various different ancient responses of Yemenite jury, even from the books of the Gaonim, respectively. And he was very, very interesting. I think he was speaking and corresponding with various different governmental officials over there, including Sultan Al-Mutham, I believe, and stuff like that. And dealing with the great synagogue in of itself. There was legal issues with the Sultan, I think, and with various different governments, and involving, I think, British ambassadors that were stationed in Aden, respectively. He would give over very great halachic arguments in the most eloquent fashion also. And much has been said with regards to him. He had a halachic approach, a leadership, which he stated about, and he established, like, say, regulation with regards to Kiddushin, Gittin, Yerusha, inheritance in of itself, respectively. There was various different community institutions. I think he would be founding the Kollel Hadarom, I believe, a yeshiva for high-level Torah study for boys outside the B'Tzana'ah. He established the Kufat Gimilot Chasadim Habshush, I believe, a charitable organization among Yemenite immigrants to the land of Israel developed, and there's various different miracle stories also which are related over, especially one with regards to a rock that one time cracked, it's reported over, and the story of a menorah, I think, and time period of Hanukkah, which is actually reported. Many of his family members also serve as rabbis in the land of Israel. Some of them work in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and Moshav Azriel, and so not too sure the dates when he passed over. He was very, very great rabbi of his time, so that is very, very interesting. Rabbi Salam Hibshush. So I've heard different dates when maybe he passed away also, but we'll have to double check on it. But he was definitely a great rabbi of his time, and one of the famous rabbis, without a doubt. He was a pillar of justice and a great rabbi for Yemen in of itself. So please, friends, subscribe to the channel. We're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. We're exploring a great famous rabbi, Rabbi Salam Hibshush, who happens to have been from Teman, very, very great rabbi of his time period, a rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before here inside the series. So please find out more information about him. If you feel anyone is interested in watching any of these videos, friends, please share these videos also to other people and join the community. We are a fast-growing community, eager to learn Torah information, Torah knowledge, and we record with an inspirational personality every single day. Current time period here in Eretz Israel, which I recommend everyone to watch that series. We'll record videos of the Parashat Shavua. We also record videos on daily tidbit of the Daf Yomi, which is also another very important project that we have embarked on over here, and various other importances we are really trying to make progress with. So everyone subscribe, and 7,500 subscribers. That is a close milestone we are getting to. Now we're in the middle of the Aseret Yemei Teshuvah. I'm recording this video at this specific time period in itself. Very turbulent time period for Am Yisrael. We're between the days of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, a very, very important time. So I would recommend everyone to learn more about this time period. And if you want any more information, please send me an email. I always like to hear feedback. And blessings from Israel. We also record videos here, not just biography videos of great Chachamim of yesteryear. We explore the various different yeshivot there were in different Ottoman countries, Spanish countries, Asian, North African. We try and explore here in Eretz Israel and various other places also. So it's, I think that importance is very, very, it shows its weight in gold within regards to this. I can't recommend everyone, enough to learn more within regards to the great rabbis of yesteryear. So Rabbi Salam Hibshush, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, great rabbi of his time. Learn more about him, and please, once again, subscribe to the channel. Wishing all a Gemach Mitzvah Tova and a fantastic day. Thank you for watching, everyone.